Hello Drone Racers, I'm Mark, and today on Drone Racer 101 I'm going to take a look at the BETAFPV, let's see which one is this, sorry, Beta65S. So this is a tiny whoop that comes with an OSD and a FrSky receiver built in. So it's a tiny whoop with an OSD. I don't think I have any tiny whoops with an OSD. It's a beautiful blue color on the inside, and inside the box it's pretty basic. It comes with one battery. It has a bigger 2mm connector on it, which I consider essentially. This is a 260 milliamp 4.35 volt battery, so it's a high voltage battery, which is nice for these. When it's a 1S battery, every little extra bit you can get helps a lot. There's an antenna sticking out the back that looks like it's even screwed down. It looks like it's connected pretty well. Part of what's nice about this is these are 7mm motors, so these are a big upgrade over the traditional tiny whoops that we've had in the past. Here's the actual original Inductrix FPV, and you can see the difference in motor sizes here, maybe. It's kind of hard to tell from there, but it is a 7mm versus a 6mm motor. Now you don't see me fly the Inductrix very often because it broke a lot. But I've got videos on how to make it usable, but instead we're going to look at this as a better option. Before I take the top off, I want to show you the rest of the things that I got with it, which we're not going to review all of it today, but I want to show you because it makes a nice little package. First, here's the BetaFPV Charger, which is great because it will charge both the 1.25mm and the 2mm connections, each on individual channels. I guess it goes this way, so it'll charge them independently, and you can choose 4.2 or high voltage for each one of these independently as you charge it. So that is really, really nice. Also comes with an AC adapter, or you can connect up a 3S or a 4S battery on here. This outputs 12 volts, so I've set this to 3S. The other thing I got was a box of batteries. Look at this, it's just a box. I think it came with 10 of them. So it's a whole bunch of these batteries in this box. So you can put them all on here. You get a charger, you get the batteries, and you can fly forever. So I just wanted to show you this. We're not doing a full review of this yet. That will come later because I want to do some additional battery testing. But for now, I'm going to go start charging a few batteries. Now what I want to do is take this off and see what's on the inside, because I think we should have a USB port available to take a look at it in Betaflight. Oh, so that's really nice. I expected the camera to come off with this, but the shell actually covers the camera, and the camera is still mounted in here as part of the circuit board. That is really interesting. Aha, and there is the USB port. It's actually on the bottom, which is even better, so you don't have to take the top off to get to the port. Now if you want to change the channel, I'm assuming that's what this button is for. I don't think it came with any instructions, did it? No, it didn't come with any instructions. But this is a really nice looking flight controller and VTX combo unit, and the way it's all mounted, really, really nicely done. This wire here is going to be the receiver antenna. We'll see if that's good enough. That might be the downside affecting the range, but it's still placed pretty well, I guess. It's still long enough, even though it won't extend through. This plastic shell shouldn't actually affect that. It's not like some of the others I've had where it's smushed flat against the frame and the flight controller. So that should still be okay. Guess I can put this back on for now. Okay, craft name BetaFPV already set up there on UART2. I'll just trust that. Brushed in PWM and S-Bus, telemetry, OSD. Receiver looks like it's properly set up for a FrSky, that's good. Modes, I wonder what they've got here. An arm and an angle mode on the same switch. I don't care for that. How have they got the OSD set up? Well enough. This is one where it's interesting because it's only 1S. We don't really need to be able to see the average cell voltage. In the CLI, we'll do a version, see what this actually is. So it's a Betaflight F3 board. It's running 3.2. Okay, well, I haven't seen one of those in a while, but I guess that was really common for some of the other tiny whoops that we had available. And since it comes with the built-in OSD, it has everything we need. So the one change that I'm going to go ahead and make is in the modes after it reconnects, after going to the CLI. I want to go into the modes and change this. So I want aux on arm 1, and I only want it on the lower third, and then angle is fine too, but I want that on aux 2. And then while I'm at it, since I'm setting this up anyway, I want horizon in the middle. Normally I would set up air mode, but I don't think I really need it in this case, not with a brush tiny whoop. So there we go, we'll save that, and now I'm going to figure out how to set up the receiver. So there you go, they couldn't make it much easier. There's a bind button, which I can't get quite focused. There it is, a bind button right there on the front, making this thing super intuitive. So we'll do a quick walkthrough of setting this up on the radio here. So we'll go into menu and I'm gonna go down and make a new model. Actually delete this one because I don't need it anymore. It was a test. Delete that and I'll make a new one. It is a quadcopter. So I will just push page, 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 page. Just skip through and then a long press. I'll zoom out so you can see the buttons. There we go. There, now you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna just press page to go in and I'm gonna name it as a Beta65S. Okay, exit out of there. We'll go up here and change this to a D8 model. There we go. So that will let me bind it, but I'm not going to do that yet. First, I'm going to go through and set up the rest of the switches. I'll go down to switch 5 here, go down and select my source. This is my arm switch. This is the switch I use for arming. Exit out of there. Go down to 6. Flip this switch. This is the switch I select for modes. So that goes along with my aux2 button that I set up just a minute ago. And then on the next page, go to mixer. I don't actually need a mix, but I need to go in here and tell it to transmit this. Enter, exit, done. So now I can exit back, go through, up to bind. Now on the quadcopter here, I'm gonna press and hold the bind button. Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's the easy way to do this. So I've disconnected this part from my computer of the USB. I'll connect it to the computer here, or to my drone. I'm gonna hold this button and plug in the USB to my computer. And I do that because it's a lot easier to do that with one hand than to plug it into this frame. There we go. I think that red light means I'm in bind mode. Press bind. See, the red light went out. So I will exit out of bind mode, reboot the flight controller. And now in beta flight, I have signal. So there's my throttle and my roll and pitch and all of that kind of fun stuff. So that's set up. That was really, really easy. I will go ahead and check my switches. My arm switch. So aux1 to arm. aux2. Those set and moved correctly. Did I save my modes? I sure did. So it will not arm right now for a number of reasons. One, because I've got it laying on the side. Two, because I don't have an actual battery connected. Just to double check it, I will plug in this battery to test it now, have it come on. I will arm. There we go. So the next thing I want to know is how long will it hover? Just as a comparison with everything else, just hovering above my pool table, how long will it go? Let's find out. So that was about 4.5 minutes, which is respectable, but not outstanding. And I missed the first part of it on the recording, so I kind of had to fudge that a little bit. But that's about where it was. It was about 4.5 minutes, which is okay. And I guess that gives us a good sense. I'm going to say it wasn't the smoothest flight I've ever had with a Tiny Whoop over the table. It was kind of flopping around a little bit, so I'm wondering what it's going to be like actually racing through the basement, which is what we're going to test next. Okay, here we go. One of the things I forgot to mention is I did mess up the modes. I should have left that in angle mode. I actually do want it to arm and then be in angle mode. So here we go though. So it's weird having the OSD. That's bizarre. So the camera though looks pretty good. It's a little bright maybe. Well, I do have all the lights on. Ooh, the control is really good. Yeah, I'm really happy with the control. Much better than I expected. Interesting, the OSD voltage is, why is it so low? Is it, I just took it off of their charger and it says it's almost dead. Did I put the wrong battery back on it? I don't think so. Wow. Spectacular control out of this thing though. There's pretty fast and, I really like the way this thing feels. Yeah, both the throttle response and the angle response from it, really, really good. Yeah, I think if I was going racing today, Tiny Whoop racing, I have a new winner. Yeah, I have better control. It doesn't support turtle mode though. Okay, I want to look at this real quick. The battery voltage on screen right now says 3.8 volts. So I'm just going to unplug this real fast and see what my little tester says. 3.9. So I think it was charged. It was weird. The on-screen display though was super low. Now it was while I was flying. I didn't notice it ahead of time. So we're gonna keep an eye on that again. We'll keep going. Battery not full. I know. That's because I crashed you and I already flew. So let's take it out again. Ah. So this is why I like my ET100, because turtle mode. I don't have turtle mode here. You can't have turtle mode with brush motors. And again. There we go. So I say how much I like the control and I keep crashing, but that's just because I'm a bad pilot and a moron. A good pilot with this, yeah, see, it turns though, and it's really, really good. Yeah, absolutely. Now, here's one of the problems with it that I didn't point out earlier is these are 7mm motors. So if you were going tiny whoop racing, technically this doesn't qualify, because per the multi-GP tiny whoop specs, you have to have 6mm motors. Oh, for Pete's sake. And yes, I would fly with my ET100 because turtle mode. So frustrating. So it does seem to want to land upside down an awful lot. I don't know exactly why that is, but I mean, every time it seems to land, it lands upside down. But besides that, this thing is a spectacular flyer. Like I was saying, it doesn't quite qualify for a tiny whoop, but is somebody going to measure if you have 6 or 7mm motors? If you're out racing with your friends, nobody cares. I expect 7mm to become more and more standard for these and more approved, because that's what everything is going to for these size. I can't comment yet on the frame quality or strength. I haven't broken it yet, which I did break my inductrix like the first time I took it out. So it seems to be okay at least. The camera looks pretty good. The on-screen display is nice, but not, you mainly want it for the voltage, and it didn't seem spectacularly accurate anyway. I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess, but tiny whoops with 1S, I will generally just fly them until they won't fly anymore anyway. So it's not a huge deal for me. It is nice to have, but it flies. The control for it, to go around a corner with this, I felt like I had much better control than with any other tiny whoop I can think of right out of the box. Now, I haven't really looked to see what they've done with the PIDs. I'm guessing it's mainly because they've just tuned it really, really well out of the box. Far better than what I normally see. The camera is not as good as the E10S, but I would take this over the Tiny 6 from King Kong, at least now until the new one comes out. We'll see when the new one comes out here shortly. But right now, yeah, it's a really good pick. I would approve. Yeah, I would also approve of the box of batteries and their charger. I guess I'm going to do a separate review on those just to get a better feel. But for now, if you found this useful, leave a like and a comment down below and let me know what you think of this tiny whoop and whether it should be chosen over my long-term favorite, the E10S, which does have a better antenna, but it is kind of a pain. But you know what? I almost think that makes it so it doesn't land upside down as often with this as this one seemed to do. I mean, you can kind of see there, it's more likely to be able to flip that over, but I had better control over this. The tune on this is at least better right out of the factory. So until next time, remember, in this size, brushed motors still just fly better, but I want brushless just to have turtle mode.